Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. Two quick comments to Steve. First of all, thanks for picking a sunny day. So I'm Wes Chesbro, and even though I represented the 5th District for 14 years in the state legislature in Sacramento, I'm a relative newcomer to McKinleyville. 4 years ago, Cindy and I cast our first vote as 5th District residents, and it was for Steve Madrone.
Who else?
We are all here to kick off and show our support for Steve's re-election, but first, since McKinleyville and all of the 5th District is unceded indigenous land, Steve has asked Yurok Tribal member Laura Wood to provide a blessing for today's proceedings.
Thank you very much. Ayukui. Ayukui. Nek now Laura White Woods. Ne pichawas esi ewak emo white. Ne nape such as ewak. Margaret White. I come to you from the Yurok country, the land of the salmon and the redwoods. I just introduced myself in Yurok and told you who my parents were. Oric Auk. I live in Oric. I'm going to say the prayer today in English, and I want you all to join me in whichever way that you feel comfortable. And first, I'd like to acknowledge that we are on Wiyot land, and acknowledge and give them a shout out and a great big thank you for taking care of this beautiful land for time immemorial. We're talking tens of thousands of years. They cared for this land, and I hope that we can continue that same level of care that they managed to do for all those decades. I feel that it is our responsibility to pray for our leadership, regardless of our political stances, regardless of our named party or no party. It's our duty. It's their duty to do their best to lead us forward in a good way, and it's our duty to support them and pray for them and encourage them and work with them and call them out when you need to call them out too. We need whistleblowers, we need peacekeepers, we need it all, and we need it now. So if you would, please join me as we lift up Steve, the entire government of this county, of all the countries in the world. We need these prayers on a huge scale right now. So pray with me. Creator God, Father, Grandfather, Holy Spirit, we come before you now in humble gratitude for all the gifts that you've bestowed upon us in this beautiful land that we are responsible for and that you have gifted to all of us to live in and to care for. We lift up all of our leadership. We ask that you give them integrity, strength, honesty, courage, and transparency. I want to ask that all the people who are governed treat our leaders with respect and dignity and help them and encourage them and ask, can I help you? Is there something that I can do? We're all in this. We can't sit back and just hand over the keys to the kingdom. We are active participants, and I ask prayers, God, that you just give us strength to be good partners with leadership and to continue to work with them, pray for them, and help them at every turn. Please guide this beautiful land, this county, this country. Protect us, our families, our children, all of our loved ones. Help keep us all safe and healthy and safe and secure. Walk thou, walk thou, walk thou. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Blessings to you all, and thank you for coming. Congratulations on the next term, Steve. We're all rooting for you, and we're very excited to be here tonight. Thank you all.
Unlike Steve, I got my start in electoral politics at a very young age, when I thought governing was all about good guys and bad guys, and the most important thing was for your side to win. It took me many years to learn what Steve already knew when he was elected, that representing and leading means bringing people together to solve problems. Steve came to the Board of Supervisors 4 years ago after a lifetime of bringing together people of widely differing backgrounds and viewpoints to create solutions. And he has carried that understanding through his first 4 years on the Board of Supervisors. Steve has brought his experience and integrity to the job, and he has produced results. Humboldt County is facing a lot of opportunities and challenges in the next few years. Offshore wind, the transition to Cal Poly Humboldt, expanded broadband, and the proposed fish farm on the Samoa Peninsula, to name just a few. While all these projects offer great cultural, economic, and environmental opportunity, they also present challenges and risks that need to be carefully planned and managed. Steve has the proven chops to help guide us through this challenging future. This election presents a stark choice between the candidates. Will it be the Great Redwood Trail or the coal train? By the way, the only coal train we need is John Coltrane.
Yeah.
Will it be unplanned sprawling development or well-planned communities? Will it be clean new industry with sufficient environmental review and mitigation? Or a wide open invitation to polluters that threaten our North Coast environment, such as coal or liquefied natural gas? Each of the candidates has a track record, so the choice will be clear. Steve Madrone has proven himself to be the kind of leader that we need. Now we have a couple of video presences, is that a word? From elected officials, State Senator Mike McGuire and Congressman Huffman. We're going to save those till the last and have our speakers who are present speak first and then show those videos. So the next person that I'm going to introduce is Lisa Dugan, a member of the McKinleyville Municipal Advisory Committee. Lisa's a major player in helping the greater McKinleyville community come together to solve problems.
Yeah. You know, something that was just said by the member of the Europe community, Laura Wood, just really stuck with me, and it reminds me why I'm here. We're all in this together, and that's really, really important for me. I am on the McMac committee. Prior to that, I retired from Child Support Services as a director there for Trinity and Humboldt counties. So I go back a little ways with Steve and understanding his leadership. We're all in this together. When I retired, I freaked out the first week. I'm like, oh, how am I going to serve? What am I going to do? So I put in my application. There were openings on the McMac committee. There were people whose time was up. And so I thought, well, I would love to do this. I would really love to serve community. So I believe community is our salvation. I think it's here in the trenches, in our neighborhoods, in our community where the work gets done that creates peace and that saves the world. We don't care that our neighbor next door may be of a different political persuasion. She's our neighbor, and so we work together to get things done. Right. So I was all excited to get on the McMac, and then I get a call from Steve saying, sorry, it's not going to happen this time. And I was disappointed, but I tell you what, that was the moment that I really had a huge amount of respect for Steve Madrone, and the reason is because he didn't stack the McMac with people who believe the same way that he does. He realizes that we're all in this together, and he realizes that it's important that all voices are heard in this community. And you've got to respect that. You've got to respect that we're all neighbors and that we all need to be heard. And I've attended McMac meetings prior to being on McMac and prior to Steve being our supervisor. And there was not a lot of room for conversation. There was not a lot of room for community to input. And I have seen such a huge difference in what is now happening on that committee. I see people coming to the table. I see people being heard. I see Steve there asking for our opinions. And I'm just really, really impressed and really glad to see, because the way we're going to save the world is together and no casting of stones by listening to each other. I'm so happy now to be on that committee and to represent McKinleyville, and I'm really, really thankful for Steve and his leadership in bringing us together so that we're all heard. So, thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Lisa. I want to thank you for being so much more brief and succinct than the previous speaker. So next we're going to hear from community member Joyce King. Joyce is a long-term McKinleyville resident who is very engaged with the local land trust. Joyce?
So all of you who are forgetful and overwhelmed do realize that I am here to represent you. Louder?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, so, but there are 4 things that I can still remember, and luckily I have a sheet of paper to read from. One, that it has been rare to have good balance on the Board of Supervisors. And Steve's perspective is one that has been extremely important and underrepresented. 2, it's rare to have a leader like Steve with such strong ethics and heart, as well as the courage and the energy to stand up to the great challenges and resistance he's had to face. 3, that it's rare to have a leader like Steve who pursues new information and different perspectives and so quickly comprehend complexities, to communicate and compromise in search of the long-term good. And 4, at these times of national and global turmoil, it's easy for us to feel helpless and hopeless. But we can still do something locally, of course, like continuing to support the quality leadership that we have in Steve. He's a hard-working advocate, as we all know, for our people and our sacred land. And we should be willing to work hard to keep him. Very true.
And next, I'm very pleased to introduce Trinidad Mayor Steve Ladwig. Mayor Ladwig is serving Trinidad through challenging times and has provided leadership to improve area fire and medical response and water resilience.
Thank you very much. Hello, my name is Steve, and I'm here for name recognition so that you hear Steve more often when you go to the polls. So we're working together. Yes, thank you very much. I've been 6 years on the Trinidad Council, 15 years in Trinidad, and 30-something years here in the county. So it's really become a very important part of everything that I do and that I live. And my time on the council has shown me that no one works alone. And I've learned a lot from working with Steve on issues that were mentioned here, our fire protection, fire safety, our water resiliency in Trinidad. We are a small town, but we work closely with Steve, and Steve has brought a lot of his expertise into our community. And through his calm, determined, and persistent and consistent voice of reason, we've really learned a lot, and I've also been able to teach Steve a few things, and I really appreciate the fact that it's a two-way relationship. So I really appreciate that. So I just want to say, I really do think that now is a very important time for leadership like Steve's to preserve democracy. There's really few things in politics more satisfying than working through issues, and that's what Steve is going to do. So thank you very much.
Next, I'm going to introduce Yurok Elder Ali Lindgren. Ali is a longtime member of the Churai Ancestral Society.
I agree. I agree. There. I said, hello, my friends and relatives. I don't know too much about politics, and to tell you the truth, I don't really involved in that. So I okay, I can hear myself. So I asked my roommate if he would help me. So we wrote a poem for Steve. So here it goes. It says, keeping warm in my house is very important to me. so I can sit in my chair and enjoy my coffee. I have a wood stove that glows with delight, and she keeps me warm through the night. But she told me one day to buy the best wood. Madrone is tops. It's loads you should. It's top quality and burns so hot. Has a heart of gold, believe it or not.
Believe it or not.
So now that you know Madrone is the best and does his job with a special zest.
What's that?
He looks after the people, left, center, and right,
Right.
and is willing to work both day
Day and
and
night.
night. Let's stand behind Steve and get him in. His competitors' chances are very slim. Politics are one thing, but that alone can't compare to the best, Steve Madrone. It is now time for a change. Yay, Steve Madrone!
That was wonderful, wasn't it? So let's see. Are we ready with videos from our state and national representatives who are happy to endorse Steve Madrone for re-election?
I'm so appreciative that Congressman Huffman took his time. He's over in Israel right now, but he took his time to create this video. Also, Senator McGuire as well. They both have endorsed me, and hopefully we'll be able to show these. Here comes something now. But also today I got a call from Assemblyman Wood. He's now also endorsed me, and I got a, yes, thank you, Assemblyman Wood. I also got a email today. The Yurok tribe met in special session today, and they have also endorsed me. I'm very, very honored by the tribal support in our community. As you may know, the 5th District has almost all of the tribes and rancherias in the 5th District. There are a few that are outside, but a lot in the 5th. So tribal representation is important to me and my family, and I'm honored to serve, to not only represent them, but the whole community. So there's my whole speech. No. So at any rate, yeah, go to the website, check that out. We'll be gearing up with a lot more things, including fundraising and other efforts coming down the pike here in the next couple of months.
Hi, everyone. It's Congressman Jared Huffman here. I'm sorry I can't be with you in beautiful Humboldt County, but from my backdrop, you can tell that I'm with you in spirit. My heart is in Humboldt County tonight with all of you to support the re-election of our great supervisor, Steve Madrone. And I just want to tell you how grateful I am to have Steve on the Humboldt County Board of Supervisors. You know, he brings such a connection to the natural resource issues that are critical to our way of life, to our North Coast economy, to the tribes and other communities I represent up and down the North Coast, because he has dedicated a lot of his life to the protection and management of these resources. He is a policy wonk and a fish head, and someone that I can reach out to and partner with on a whole bunch of great projects and opportunities, like the incredible opportunity to restore the estuary of Redwood Creek, which is kind of taking shape now, in part because of Steve's good leadership. So we got to keep him in this position, and I'm grateful to all of you for stepping up and supporting Steve's reelection. I am proud to endorse him for reelection. Let's get him back on the Board of Supervisors for 4 more years so we can keep doing good work together. Thanks, everybody. Have a great evening. Take care.
Hey, everybody, how are you doing? This is Mike McGuire, State Senator, and I am so thrilled to be with you. And I am even more excited to be supporting Mr. Madrone in his reelection effort for the Humboldt County Board of Supervisors. I hope that you will join me right now, loud and proud. Let's give it up for the man, the myth, the legend. We're going to get him reelected. Let's give it up for Steve Madrone, everybody. We got to get him reelected to the Humboldt County Board of Supervisors. Supervisor, I just want to say thank you today. Thank you for being a champion for working families. Thank you for always putting people above politics. You are a bridge builder here on the North Coast. Thank you for being a climate champion. I have been honored to work with you to tackle our community's toughest issues, including expanding healthcare and tackling the homelessness crisis by building dozens of new units wrapped with mental health and addiction services for those who are on the streets every night. And I am so appreciative. I am so appreciative of your leadership to get the Great Redwood Trail done. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, let's go. Let's get him reelected. Let's give it up for Steve Madrone. Thank you, Supervisor. Thank you for your fantastic work. And I look forward to going door to door with you, making sure that we are winning big coming up in June and then again in November. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I guess I did already introduce myself, didn't I? Am I next?
You're next.
Wesley, could you introduce Steve?
Yeah, please.
I'd like to introduce you the once and future supervisor from the 5th District, Steve Madrone.
Thank you, Wesley. And I'm going to grab the mic just so that I can not lose my voice like Mike was about ready to do.
Turn it on.
Turn it on. Okay, how's that? Got me?
Perpendicular.
Perpendicular, like that. Okay.
Bing Crosby.
Well, first of all, good evening, everybody. And this is not the sunset of our campaign. This is the beginning, right? This is where we're starting, and we're going to really make this happen. So I really appreciate you all for showing up. And I want to thank everyone for coming and supporting my re-election campaign. I want to give special thanks to my family. Many of them are here. I have 20 grandchildren.
Wow.
And I am so honored to be a part of a big family. I also want to thank the elected officials for being here virtually and in presence. And I want to thank those of you who said kind words. Bluetooth is disconnected, okay. Anyway, speaking on my behalf, those were really wonderful words. I'm very humbled by them, and I want to thank you all for coming. So I'm running for re-election because I love this unique, special place we're privileged to call home. I love its people and our community spirit, and I want to continue doing all that I can to keep it this way and create a vibrant, safe, and healthy community that benefits all of us. Creating a thriving, healthy community means we need small businesses and industries that provide well-paying jobs and which are compatible with our community standards and values. As you know, there are several existing exciting economic opportunities and projects coming to Humboldt, such as offshore energy, Cal Poly, and new communication infrastructures like broadband. I commit to ensuring that these projects receive thorough public review and hire local workers, pay union rates, and preserve our natural resources. We can balance these things, and I think I've shown that I can do the homework to try and find those solutions. Building a vibrant, healthy community means there's enough affordable housing to meet the needs of all of our residents. I feel good about all the votes I've taken to approve more funding for staff and programs to address homelessness and allow for creation of more affordable housing and things like smaller units, tiny homes, and the like. But there's still so much to do, and I will work with other supervisors and staff on several specific initiatives to move this forward. Our board has a lot of agreement on these issues, and I'm optimistic about making progress. Creating a safe, healthy community means continuing to improve public safety by making sure our deputy sheriffs have adequate funding, training, and equipment. I'm proud of my record of advocating and voting for this during every budget update. Yes, there are important changes we need to make in our community policing, and adding more trained street outreach workers to patrols would be a good start. I feel good about the work I've done in several communities, bringing resources and staff to address code violations, criminal threats, and clearing dangerous road debris, like what happened out in Willow Creek from the big snowstorm. Yes, there is so much more we can do, and I want to do more with your help. We can do this together. A thriving, safe community is one where people are able to get where they need to go without too much difficulty or cost. I have advocated and voted for expansion of public transit, and I will continue to work for better connections and more frequent routes, for pedestrian and bike paths, and more EV charging stations. Having a vibrant, healthy community means that our part of the county, the 5th district, right? 5th district, we want to make sure it gets its fair share of county resources and building up of community infrastructure. That's why I'm proud of the work I've done working with the community to create a new town center through the Town Center Ordinance. And I'm looking forward to helping see this through to completion.
Oh, yeah.
A safe and healthy community is one that has multiple and varied trails, parks, and recreation opportunities. I'm proud of my role in helping to finish the Hammond Trail and love helping with monthly trail maintenance. First Saturday, 9 a.m., show up. On the board, I'm pleased I've gotten support for local and regional trail expansion and feel good about the progress, but there is still so much to do, right? We need to complete these trail systems. I will keep doing all I can to see the countywide and Annie and Mary trails completed. And we'll continue to work with Senator McGuire on bringing the Great Redwood Trail to fruition. Long-held dream. Creating a vibrant, safe, and healthy community means we have clean water and healthy rivers for people and fish. I'm proud of my efforts to keep our rivers clean and advising Trinidad about water storage and collection options. And there is still a lot to do to protect the health of our rivers, streams, and watersheds. My focus will be working with others to improve the Klamath and its fishery by removing the Klamath dams, right? They're gonna come down. Many in this crowd have worked for decades to help make that happen. Very proud of all the work that's been done in this community. We'll be working with Congressman Huffman on that, in addition to bringing funding to help with flood control and estuary restoration in Redwood Creek and Oric. We've really made a new milestone there, working with the ranchers, the community, the agencies. We're going to see some great things happen there on Redwood Creek. We're here to have a vibrant, healthy community, and that also means that the county has a balanced budget, right? So there's been a lot of talk about this lately, you know, tax cuts for a few here and there, whatever, but we've got to have a balanced budget. And I'm proud to say that I've supported that, and I've fought hard to increase the wages and benefits for our county employees because they deserved it, and that's going to increase recruitment, retention, and morale. I'm done with that. That's good. I've only got 10 more pages, so we're good. No, I'm almost wrapping it up here. So anyway, to have that vibrant, healthy community also means that, like I said, a balanced budget. If I keep repeating it, we'll be here till the sun sets. That's not long. I'm proud of my consistent advocacy and votes for a balanced budget, and we'll continue to work for this. After looking at the big picture, of course, working for a vibrant, healthy, and safe community means we're doing all we can locally to slow down climate change. We must consider this impact in each choice we make, from improving public transit to working for well-planned communities, to installing solar at county facilities. I've always kept our community's health in the forefront as I consider policies, programs, and projects, and will continue to do so. I am proud to have signed the Climate Pledge. Further, Humboldt County must increase our resiliency by planning ahead for changes like rising sea level on our coast and in our bay, less water in our rivers and streams, more wildfires, and I'll make sure that we do just that. So why am I running for re-election? Because there's so much more to do to create the thriving, safe, and healthy community that we can be proud to leave our children and our grandchildren. I want to thank you all again for coming here today and walking with me and our community to bring about a community where we all thrive. Thank you so much.